Should we just go into it? Should we just open with the big boy question? 49-46 or 48-47, Tom? How did you score this fight?
Well, I have questions, Joe. I have questions. I had to watch it twice.
What?
I had to watch it twice.
It wasn't clear to you who won?
I needed to go round by round again.
Oof.
Yeah, I did. It was clear, it seems to most people, certainly to the commentary team, that Della Maddalena was kind of ahead and pulling away. But it's not quite the fight I saw. I saw a very, very competitive fight.
Same.
With a few minor changes in some rounds. Then Belal could have won that fight, and that includes for me the fifth round. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Anyway, let's get straight into it. How did it? In round one they open up, the fight begins. Did anything surprise you in that round?
What surprised me was Belal Muhammad not going for a takedown. Like, he started to do the thing that I thought was going to win him the fight, and that actually brought the fight alive to me, was the sort of busy work to get Della Maddalena occupied, moving him backwards to get him in towards the cage, and then shooting in for a takedown from there. Because I felt like the first two rounds were kind of quite clear for Della Maddalena, in my opinion. And it was kind of him, not necessarily styling on Belal, but like getting some comfortable rounds in the pocket, I thought, and was warming up very nicely. And I think that's kind of what surprised me about round one, was that I felt like there wasn't really that much of, not necessarily resistance, but like immediate threat to Della Maddalena. And I thought that's a mistake from Belal in this fight. I think he should have been on it a lot sooner.
Can you try to explain to me why that was the case? Because he obviously showed, as the fight went on, the Belal that we know. We saw that in the later rounds. So, what was that? Was he trying to make a statement? Was he trying to preserve his gas tank? Was he surprised by Della Maddalena? What do you think?
No. I think this is the thing with Belal, and we said it in the preview, is that he's a hard-working fighter, and when he has a game plan, he sticks to it. And it was kind of a weird one in that I didn't really see a clear game plan for like the first time in quite a long time. Like, it wasn't anything that he was particularly occupying, and I felt that Della Maddalena was kind of controlling the dance between the two of them, particularly in the sense of, like, he was doing the thing of throwing jabs or combos out there, throwing like 3 jabs, then sitting down on a right hand, touch with the jab, touch with the right, stinging jab. It was kind of like he was throwing up his power punches in there, and he was throwing it. Basically, he was, well, if I'm going to say why Belal wasn't able to get into a rhythm, is because JDM was kind of, his work was pattern disrupting. His punches were pattern disrupting. Like, there wasn't like, Belal couldn't go like, he's thrown the double jab, so now he's going to throw the big right hand. It was like, throw the double jab and then a left hook would come, or he'd throw a double jab and then, right shot to the body. Like, it was this sort of thing, or he'd throw a kick up the middle, like, the sort of, remember Tony Ferguson in his peak, where he would kind of like throw almost like a push kick to the stomach. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember that sort of Tony style where even his hands would come down and he'd really like sort of push through it, his kicks? He was doing that sort of thing. And then the great one was I think when he was stood in orthodox, and he'd throw a calf kick but with his front leg to Belal's front leg, which is like, it's not a powerful kick, but it's a disrupting kick, like it takes you off balance, and it's like, all right, I've got to put my foot down, reset, got to try and find my way back in. And he just did that for like the first round, 2 rounds, and I think that was kind of what stopped Belal from getting anywhere. But once he started to get into his game plan, Belal, I just thought like he could have done that in the first round or 2. Like, I felt like he could have got after it a bit sooner. The face you're pulling maybe suggests that I'm not giving JDM enough credit, or I'm discrediting Belal a bit too much. Like, I can't quite read you.
I'll be completely frank, Joe. I was just having a little peruse of the MMA subreddit, and I just came across the image of Belal, the damage he took after the fight. Your boy's cut up. Your boy's bruised.
Yeah, I think it was round,
lips hanging down.
Was it round 5 where he busted up the lip? Like they talked about like the spray of blood from Belal. Or was that round 4?
I would imagine that, because when he's kind of over JDM and he's kind of taking his back, you can just see it spraying.
Yeah.
So I certainly agree that JDM was effective in disrupting him. He also, he kind of bit down and traded when he did feel that pressure, and he was quite a good range of work, to the body. He was ripping and slipping, and he certainly wasn't making it easy for Belal. But at the same time, I thought Belal was overly passive in letting that round get away from him. Now, here we come. I actually scored it for Belal the first time I watched that round.
What?
I thought he had the more impactful shots and was coming on to JDM like towards the end of the round. Obviously, the overhand, like the kind of big right hand, was starting to land. Yeah, and he was starting to back JDM up, but I didn't think it was an obvious JDM round, even the second time I watched it.
Really?
Although the commentary team certainly seemed to disagree with me, and of course it seems that you do too.
Yeah, I'm pretty set on it being a JDM round. I'm actually kind of surprised by that, because I thought like the first half of that round, like Belal Muhammad didn't really, unless my memory is failing me here.
No, you're right. You're right. The first half of the round, JDM was not really under any pressure at all, and Belal wasn't really finding him. But as the round goes on, Belal starts to land more and more. And actually, I thought the bigger shots were landed by Belal. It's just a small volume discrepancy when it comes down to it. So yeah, I had it for Belal the first time. The second time round, I could see more why why people were looking towards JDM, but not much in it. And my main takeaway from it was frustration with Belal, really, because I just didn't think it needed.
It needed to be that close.
I didn't think it need. No, I know exactly, and obviously we go on to see that as the fight develops. Second round, I'm going to jump straight in, because I that was a clear JDM round. His head movement looked really good. He was feeling himself. Belal flows that spinning back fist. I think it was the first time we saw that in the night, but it came out a few times and looked ridiculous every single time against Maddalena. Yeah. It was kind of like a Hail Mary at the end of a combination when Bilal's crashing forward and JDM's responding, but JDM's too good for that. He sees too much. That was a really comfortable round for Jack Della Maddalena.
Yeah, I agree as well. And again, the more impactful moments, and as you say, when they got to the edge of the cage, they got up to the cage wall, they started exchanging. Like, JDM wasn't messing around then. Like, he wasn't throwing shots where it's just like, I'm going to not throw the power on that one. It was like, I'm cornered, I'm going to punch my way out of it. Like, he was really like, you are not having me here, son. Like, I am getting out of this. And it was really, really impressive, like, how JDM was willing to fight like that in the pocket. No, again, round two for me was JDM.
And find those shots, like, not just like, bite down and trade, but actually like pick his shots in such a dangerous moment. Yeah, I think he was really starting to feel himself. He was like, okay, Belal is, I know what this is. Like, he's not that big a threat to me.
No.
Like I'm seeing everything. I'm landing at will. Belal obviously acknowledges after the second round, like, he's just so slippery. I just can't get hold of him. I can't land. And at that stage, you start to think, okay, well, JDM, maybe he's just going to run away with this, and we're not going to get the fight that you and I predicted in the preview show.
Yes, quite. But then moving on to round 3, again, everything kind of got a bit closer in that one, wasn't it? With like JDM, I think, had the more distinct rounds in terms of like damage and output, which I think was round 2 and 5 particularly. But again, round 3 was a close round, but again, I just favoured Della Maddalena's work in there. And this was the first round where Belal got JDM up against the cage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He started manhandling him. An eyebrow was cocked when you said that he...
Wait, when you say manhandling him, in what sense was he manhandling him in round 3? Because he's got 19 seconds of control time.
No, I mean, like, it's not just that. It's not just about the actual control time. It's when Belal has that forward momentum and he's pressing into. They did actually allude to this in the commentary, and I agreed with them. Like, that's when he does his best work. Suddenly, the right hand is landing. He's just kind of like crashing into you, and you're getting bounced around, and he keeps after you and keeps after you. And suddenly he's like, not walking you down, but kind of running you down, and the pressure is building. And I really felt that kind of drumbeat of pressure build through the rounds. I thought it was quite a clear Belal round.
No, I had Della Maddalena for that round as well. Again, the more accurate work, I thought, as well, cleaner work. Again, I thought that this was. I'm not saying that like Belal was like being blown out the water here by Della Maddalena. It was close work between the two of them, but again, for me, I just had Della Maddalena ahead. I just thought it was better stuff in there. I thought he had demonstrated better skills. He had, I don't know, the more accurate sort of output in my mind. I always felt that like with Belal, he was always kind of like scrambling, and then when you got to round 4, which was clearly Belal's best round in my opinion, unless you think otherwise, it was like he finally melded everything together in my mind, and I was just like, okay, that's the type of round he needs to have consistently, otherwise he just can't win this fight like this. And also, like, I felt that, when he got him up against the cage and then Della Maddalena used that switch to get out of the position, but he used the switch as a feint to move out against the cage. That was, like, so impressive. Like, very, very cool. That, yeah, I just felt that Della Maddalena was in control for the most part. Like, unless maybe I'm like in my mind's eye, I've like totally forgotten this, because I did actually watch it live. It was one of the few times I've actually been able to do that. Yeah. I was actually up at 4 a.m. Woke up, Aldo's coming out, brilliant, and I watched that monstrosity before going on to the main event. But anyway, again, I thought it was a JDM round. But if there's a clear, passionate argument for Belal, then more than happy to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, there certainly is. He outlands him to the head. He has his most consistent striking. I agree that he wasn't more accurate than JD. I don't.
Hold on. Outlands him to the head. It's the only place Belal was throwing at the whole fight. Like, it was 90% of his strike, and also it's just like he was still outstruck, and he was outstruck in every round. Belal.
Is that the case? I thought he had landed
32 to 34 in Della Maddalena. I mean, 32 to 34 is nothing, really. Like, it's not. For example, round 2 he had 9, and then in round 5 it was 27 to 53 in favour of Della Maddalena. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not that close. It was close. It wasn't enough for me to give it to Belal. I just saw a lot more like failures in his striking for me. Like, that was more my issue.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a boxing match, then I think it would clearly be a JDM round. He outscores him if it's only boxing, but we score more than that, don't we? We score kind of octagon control, forward momentum,
damage first, of course.
Yeah, and I think he got more damage off. In the third round. Again, though, as just to be clear, I also think that in the second. Not the second, sorry, the first. I think that would be my argument, is like the bigger shots.
Wait, hold on.
If you list, the top 10 shots landed in the first round, yeah.
Hold on. You're revealing that you actually had Belal Muhammad winning this fight.
I'm saying the first round is the decider.
Whoa,
and the fifth round, I'm very much looking forward to talking about the fifth round.
Oh, okay.
Very much.
Are you going to say something crazy? All right.
I don't think so, Joe. I don't think so. I think you need to revisit this, because this is a very close fight. You are being led by the commentary team, by the whole production.
No, I'm not. No, I watched the fight, and I felt that Della Maddalena was kind of cruising through the first couple rounds. Round 3 when Belal pick up, and round 4 is when Belal actually starts to get things going, gets some takedowns, gets a bit of control time, actually kind of puts Della Maddalena in awkward positions. But again, though, he gets up out of it. Like, each time that
Joe, I love Jack Della Maddalena as well. I think he fought really well. I do. But yeah, I think there's a case of like almost the Volkanovski Makhachev effect. You called it out to begin with. I think it might have caught you here. Let me ask you this. In the fourth round, then, we can see we're split in the third. That would appear to be the most debatable, from your point of view, the third round. Who had a more dominant round in the first 4 rounds? Which was the most dominant round for which fighter?
Della Maddalena in the second.
Right. And then, after that?
What, out of the most dominant rounds? Wait, hold on. In my mind, in my scoring?
Yeah, in your mind.
I'd probably go with maybe Belal in the fourth. And then JDM in the third. JDM in the first. But the first was like, it was such a warm-up, I felt like. It wasn't... But this is the problem, though, isn't it? If you drop the first round in a title fight in the UFC, it's like, we better get on it now, otherwise you're done, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's why I think Belal really should have regrets. So I've got him winning the third and then the fourth. We haven't really talked about the fourth yet, but I thought it was the most dominant round of the fight. The fifth is such an interesting round that we'll talk about that all.
Della Maddalena still outstruck Belal in round 4, and he had more accurate. His accuracy was higher.
I think his accuracy was better through the fight. Like Belal has more volume, more pressure, more damage, perhaps. Yeah. But
so hold on. Okay, so we agreed on round 4. I don't know. I don't quite understand what your argument is here for Belal Muhammad winning this fight, because when you're talking about damaging shots, like I just don't. I don't
have Belal winning the fight.
Oh right, you're saying that round 5 was a 10-8.
No, I'm saying round 1 is right on it. I scored it differently both times I watched it. Round 2 for Della Maddalena. I'm on record saying that just now. And then I've got 3 and 4 for Belal. So then it would come down to the 5th for me.
Wait, so you didn't give the first round to Belal?
The first time I watched it, I gave the first round to Belal, my first viewing. And
then the second time you gave it to Jack Della Maddalena?
The second time around, I could understand, yeah. Like
wait, hold on, that's not a pick. Hold on. Who won the first round?
It's very close. It seemed a lot closer than the commentary team seemed to position. I wouldn't put up a strong Jack Della Maddalena.
Okay, there we go. Thank you so much. So then we go into round 5, and this is like, I mean, Jack Della Maddalena sort of like emptied the jug here, absolutely piled it on Belal and made sure that the fight was, at least in terms of the 5th round, was not close. Even put Belal on the stinky leg at one point as well. What are you being so funny? What are you laughing at? What are you laughing?
Like there's some madness. You need to take down your Dom Cruise and Dana White portraits in the background there, and just look at it.
I like Belal.
Look at it with a critical. Belal again. This is a bit like Jack Della Maddalena versus Gilbert Burns. Like Belal is moments from winning that fight. If Jack doesn't get up,
where
the second in the 5th round,
but he did.
Belal has won that fight. If Jack doesn't get up, not just once but twice. A huge credit to Jack that he was able to do that. But there's such fine margins in it. And basically I had the 5th round I thought was really interesting because I was like, wow, this is really what a showing for Belal. And then I'm like, oh my god, like Jack Della Maddalena's really putting a rubber stamp on this performance. Oh, he's boxing him up. Oh my god, could he get a finish? Oh wow, Belal's got him on the ground. He's grinding him out, dropping bombs on him. What a sad ending.
I've got no idea. I'm sorry, but Jack Della Maddalena, that was the most dominant round of the fight. Was for Della Maddalena in the 5th.
So despite the time he spends on the mat, the damage he takes, the trouble he's in, because of the last, you're saying if the last minute or so doesn't happen where Jack gets back up and then he starts styling on him again,
but
even at that point. No, I score it as I go through it though, Joe. I don't just think about how the ending of the round is.
I don't either. But I don't either. But I'm looking at a fight and I'm like, wow, okay, this round's pretty close. Oh, okay, now he's just gone out there and whooped him for a minute, and Belal has been on shaky legs twice in that round and looks kind of like a bit lost on the feet. And then also, if you want to, I don't even like particularly always falling back on the numbers here, but Della Maddalena 53 significant strikes to 27, 63% accuracy. You know, he's piled it on, outstruck him in every department. Like, I thought that was quite clear visually that happened, but I'm guessing not. Like, the thing is with the control time and the takedown is that the takedown is a reward. It's not a scoring thing.
No, it's a mechanism from which to score. So when you attain the takedown and you have top control, you're then able to impose more pressure on the opponent and land shots from above. You've got the weight advantage.
Yes. But the takedown itself is not a reward. It's not a scored thing.
If it does damage, it can be. If you're like bombed, visually it's important as well, a takedown. I think maybe the bit that you're like not quite following me with here, I'll go through it again just so we can check. I'm saying up until Jack gets up that second time, my argument here is this is an up and down round. Like, it's, for me, it was a very exciting round. For you, it sounds like you saw just this striking like bonanza and Belal just getting whipped from here from pillar to post. For me, I saw that, but I also saw Belal pushing through that, getting the pressure on Jack looking up at the clock and getting taken down not once but twice. You know, the second with the throw. After the throw where Belal sits him down again, if Belal can hold that position at that point, I think he's going to win that round. And that is with just 1 minute left. I think, wow, Belal has come through the adversity. Like, this is championship performance right here. And that's why I found the round so exciting, because it literally swung from pillar to post like that. It was really back and forth. In the end, Jack wins the round, definitely.
Right, okay.
But without emerging from that pressure, the second time, I think Belal is going to win that round. So what my question to you would be is, at that moment, after Belal has landed the second takedown, Jack escapes the first one after taking damage. They exchange again. Belal's in trouble, all right, but Belal pushes through, gets him down again, gets more off, and then Jack's able to escape. If he doesn't escape there, at that moment, before he escapes, is Belal winning the round?
No, because the round's not over. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I can only score the round at the end of it. Like, no, I don't. That's not how I watch it. Like, I watch it and I go, I take in the round, I comprehend it in that moment, and then I have to score it in that time. Like, the whole thing. And also, he takes him down, and it's like, okay, he's just taken him down. How long was left in the round? 1:15?
Something like that, yeah.
So then he hasn't even done anything with it. Like, you know, he took him down. How long was he down for? A matter of seconds, wasn't it? 15 seconds? 20 seconds?
Yeah. Okay, a matter of seconds, but it wasn't an instant. It was a full transition.
Of course.
He kind of secures the position, and then Jack's able to escape. For me, if Jack doesn't escape there, he is not going to be the champion. So that's why I found that round so exciting.
Oh, right. See, I was watching it in the sense of, like, Belal needs to get something going here, and when he took him down, I'm like, okay, now he needs to get to work. Whereas it was more JDM, you know, securing the victory for me, which was a different sort of, like, viewing experience. Like, if your viewing experience is like, if your viewing experience is like, wow, this is 2-2 going into the. Although the first time you watched it, Belal was 3-1 up. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I find that quite odd, to be honest. I would struggle to find 3 rounds for Belal in that fight. Like, really.
Yeah, no. I definitely get that impression. It sounds like we were watching different fights, very, very close, really competitive. Even in the last round, you know, even in a great round for Jack, like all the way up till 1 minute left, it could go the other way. That's how exciting I found that fight.
Fair enough.
So I would definitely implore a second watch through. Take the Dom Cruz poster down. You know, stop listening to JRE podcast and.
I just like, hey, don't you dare besmirch me with that. Like, never.
Put the Dana White doll back on the drawer under the desk, and honestly, just analytical. Watch the fight, because
analytical.
It was
implying that I didn't watch it analytically. Like, what is that?
It was bad. I don't know. You sound.
I mean, you did pick Belal Muhammad to win the decision, so I feel like you were really fishing for how did Belal win this fight by decision.
I can only say this. If I didn't know, unfortunately, I did it again, Joe. I stumbled across the result before I was able to watch it. If I didn't know, you know, who wins this fight, I would think going through the third, into the fourth, into the fifth, all the way into the fifth round, like, Belal's probably won this.
Wow, how weird. No, I didn't have that in the slightest. But I think that you're a JDM hater anyway, so...
like, I thought he acquitted himself really well. Basically,
it was a big step up.
It was a huge step up, and Belal put him through that test. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. He really put him through that test, and JDM, particularly in the fifth, when it really counted, was able to emerge from the tests. And you know, it was beautiful. It was the way he fought the fight was really exciting. And he won me over. I'm excited. I still have some questions, but that's part of the fun.
So what are your questions?
Well, if Belal made those few small adjustments, could JDM withstand him for five rounds? I don't know.
I don't know if Belal could do it.
He also took big punishment. He fought a poor fight. He didn't find complete success, when he was applying the pressure, emptying the gas tank, and yet he was still there in the fifth. And as I keep saying, he lands the 2 takedowns. He gets big damage off. He is in control, or it looks like he might be until he's not. Like, it's razor thin. I think there's a question there, but I'm not saying there should be a rematch. Let me just, before we start fighting about that.
Oh god, I mean, Belal will never get a title fight again.
No,
that would be crystallized. Do you know what I'm going to say? This post
poor fella couldn't even get a post fight interview. What's that about?
Well, his lip was cracked open, wasn't it? Like,
he was stood there waiting to talk, or at least that was my impression. He's there, interview. They kind of pan from Belal waiting with his team, and then to Jack, and then you just never see Belal again. They don't show the other half of the octagon.
It's sad, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I feel like actually that fight week and the fight and the post fight, I think a lot of people have come round to Belal a little bit more. Like, I've seen the reaction online. Yeah, you finally accepted that he's actually good. Like, this is the thing. He was good. People always blame him for boring fights, but it's like the dance partner is a big part of it. Like, I actually thought his fight with Vicente Luque was like really exciting because Luque's going to come forward, he's going to try and smash you up, and Belal was there making things slippery and tricky and all that. And it's like, okay, yeah, he blows through Stephen Thompson because Thompson can't wrestle really that well, and Gilbert Burns was injured, and he took the fight and whatever else, and Leon just deflated in there. It was like,
yeah,
what's Belal supposed to do?
The Brady one.
You're muted.
The Brady fight is a bit of a fluke in that context, isn't it? And it's like, who is Sean Brady anyway? Like, that never got really acknowledged. No, I wasn't a hater, but he wasn't my favourite character. Basically, what we saw here from Belal in those first 2 rounds is what we saw kind of against Leon in the first time they fought before the eye poke.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this guy's just going to get styled on because he can't close that distance. He doesn't have that pressure. And then you look what he did to Leon, the second time they fought. I think that he is capable of that performance, perhaps against Jack as well. Although Jack did look really good. He really did. So that's the fun.
Okay, we'll get to Jack in a second. There's another couple of things I want to say about Belal, is that I really hope that they can give him like a couple more decent fights. Like, do you know what I mean? Like against some even like these young up and comers. Like, I think he could be like a real slippery opponent for these guys to face. I mean, it's unlikely they're ever going to put Ian Gary in there with him, I think, or even Shavkat. I think it's probably going to be more like Carlos Praches, like, go knock this guy out for us, please, because we want him out of here.
Is that the path we're plotting for them now? We're looking at where Belal goes from this?
It's not the path I would go. I think he should fight someone like Usman next, or who else could he face? Like, who else is in those rankings that could be a decent one for him? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm seeing. I'd like to see something like that.
Well, if you look at the UFC's official page right now, you look at the rankings on their official page, Belal doesn't need to fight anyone because he's still the champ. which is what is going on with this company. But
I know, it's a mess, isn't it? By the way, do you notice that Renier de Ridder didn't go up the rankings at all after beating Bo Nickel? He stayed at number 13. Well, he's fighting Whittaker next, so.
Yeah, he got his just desserts.
Good.
With the Whittaker fight. Belal, he's still a contender there. His age is a big problem. He's not getting a title fight again. In normal circumstances, what would he need to get back to the title shot? I mean, one fight, especially a dominant win over someone in the top 5. Well, come on,
2 or 3,
so close. You would say in normal circumstances, someone who's a champ
won the title, loses it in his first defense. You need to go down the rankings a bit. Now, the thing is, if he was white and was very pro-Trump, then I think he'd probably get another shot quite quickly. Like, for example, Sean Strickland. Yeah. Like, for example, Colby Covington. But he's not. He's Palestinian, which is a great offence to the American people, that the idea that there is a Palestinian person alive. So there's that to overcome as well. I honestly, as well, I think that some of the fandom coming around to Belal as well might be down to that. Like, he's coming out there, Palestinian flag. There's people in the crowds cheering for him as well with the Palestinian flags. Song he comes out to is dope. I think that adds to it. I think younger people are more on that side, aren't they, rather than the other. I don't want to say the country's names exactly, but do you know what I mean? And it's a younger person's sport in general. I don't know. I just think that online there's been a bit more of that, and some of the posts I've seen have been like, this guy's fighting for his people, and he's come through a lot, and he took up the sport at like 23, and then he ground his way to being a champion. It's like, I think some people are finally like giving him a bit of respect.
Yeah.
And that's nice to see. Now, go on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Now,
I'm with you. It's just it's all too late, Joe. It's all too late for Belal. That's the thing. He has.
It's a shame.
He has that. It is a shame because he deserves to be in the picture, but I think he'll be. Well, I don't know. My temptation is to say he'll be forgotten fairly quickly now.
He will.
It depends. It depends on the next fight, doesn't it? It depends on the next fight. Now, you mentioned.
What
about
Usman, MVP?
Of course. That's a bizarre fight for me to consider.
Why not?
Really, yeah. I mean, if Belal's in that category, then yes.
Older dude, striker grappler. Let's see if Michael Venom Page could face a pure grappler like that.
He's got no hope of fighting the winner of Buckley versus Usman. Would you say?
Loser, I'd say he'd face the loser.
Right.
Yeah.
Who would you pick? Would you pick him against Joaquin Buckley? If that?
No. I'd pick Buckley. Yeah, I'm high on Buckley, man. The meme has continued into true love and appreciation of the man. Yeah. I mean, I've always loved him. James Krause call out, always the number one. The James Krause call out is better than the spinning kick on Impa Kasanganay, in my opinion. But that's just my humble opinion there. Should I play it? Should I play the clip right now? Oh, fuck it. I'm going to play the clip right now.
You have to.
First of all, congratulations on another amazing knockout.
Thank you.
But what is it like to have such an incredible viral KO sensation like from that last fight? And did it put additional pressure on you coming in here tonight?
Yes, sir, it did. You know what I mean? The viral knockout, you know what I mean? This is the reason why we still in here. This is the reason why they pushing my name. They making the embedded videos with me in it. So I'm blessed for it, but it was just a moment. But the pressure did kind of get to me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. In the first round, I was hesitating just because I didn't want this boy to take my shine. You know what I mean? So we had to stay a little bit patient, but we got the job done in the second, so that's all that matters.
You certainly did. You had him badly hurt at the end of the first round. Did you sense that the end was near?
Yes, sir. I mean, when I seen his eyes roll back in the back of his head, you know, I'm a nice guy, man. He's a nice guy. That's why I didn't want to hurt him. But, you know, it's other dudes out there that I want to fight who talking that nonsense, and I really want to give it to him. Because when I hurt him, the referee can't save him. And y'all know who I'm talking about.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, I know who I'm talking about. Look up my name on YouTube. You will see him. He the only person talking stuff. I don't need to give his name out. Just do your homework, and you know who I'm talking about. Fight Island, January 23rd.
I know who it is. It's James Krause. I just wanted to hear you say it.
You can say it. I ain't going to say his name.
Anyway, so moving on. Let's talk about the exciting thing. Actually, this is something I want to mention. JDM in the lead up to the fight, I just realised, like, he's a really nasty git. Like, he's got, like, a really nasty energy to him. Like, he's like, I want to hurt you. And I really like that a lot.
Yeah, it was funny. Like, for me, my experience of JDM this week was he's the family guy. He's quiet. He's humble.
He looks like a psycho.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, the whole Ian Gary thing, and yeah, it's a bit of a piece of work. So
yeah, you're not a fan.
I think he's a very exciting fighter, and yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next. I mean, just the best position that I can remember welterweight being in for a really good. I mean, Joe, it's better than when Tyron Woodley was champ. It's better than the kind of Woodley Thompson, and you got to go back before that.
Maya Covington. Yeah,
it's
better
than that right now.
You think it's better than when Usman was the champion and he fought Burns, Masvidal? I think so, actually, now that I think about it. In terms of, like,
it's more exciting.
There's a lot more unknown about it now.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Lots of, like, different styles of fighter emerging, younger age profile, different nationalities.
Well, we know who the next contender is. We know who JDM's facing, and that's Islam Makhachev. Now, that means that's killed, for the time being, Makhachev versus Topuria. I'm going to give you the chance right now. You can have Makhachev versus Topuria, or you can have Makhachev at 170. You can't have both. Which one are you picking?
Makhachev versus Topuria.
What? What? Really?
Yeah. Like, Topuria's done it for me. He's built that. The way that he's won, the excitement behind him, like the way he talks. I don't love it. But when you have those performances, then you've got that question, like, how far can this guy go? Is Makhachev actually ducking him?
No, God, no.
It's got
no, God,
it's got me a bit. It's got me.
Makhachev is definitely not ducking him. You think Makhachev's afraid of Topuria, or worried about what he brings?
No. But it's more. How do I frame this? It's more because of what Topuria's done, because of what he said, and then what's actually happened. Because the way that he's dispatched Volkanovski, the way that he obviously took out
Max.
Holloway. So, I'm swept up in that. Now, look, there is one thing I've got to say here. If you asked me, Makhachev versus Edwards after Edwards wipes the floor with Bilal, or Makhachev versus Topuria, then I'm going to be thinking about it a lot more. It's the profile of Jack Della Maddalena. It's where I hold him in my esteem. That's the problem.
No, I want to see the Makhachev 170 campaign. I want to see it. Like, if he goes up there and beats JDM, and then he's like, I'm just going to be the 170 champ now, and he's just going to move up there, and it's like, wow, Makhachev versus Gary, Makhachev versus Shavkat, Makhachev versus Brady, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. At that point, you're right. If he went up to 170, wins the title, and defends it 2-3 times, I'm like, he might be a greatest of all time contender in my mind. He would be getting to that level.
It's possible.
I mean, his legacy would surpass Khabib's at that stage.
It hasn't yet. Just to clarify.
Do you know, the thing is that Khabib was very fortunate in that he had clear number one contenders who actually made it to the fight. Like, listen, if Makhachev had rematched Oliveira instead of Volkanovski, and I think he was going to win that fight, like, no doubt. And then if he fought Sarukian at that point, and again, I'm very certain in the fact that Makhachev would have wiped the floor with Sarukian, then I'd be like, he's surpassed Khabib. Okay. Then adding in 170, then we're starting to move him into the, I don't know how to even put it. Like, what framework would you put a guy like that? Starting to get into, like, it's Aldo, Holloway, Volkanovski, GSP. We're getting into that territory. Anderson,
definitely in the top tier.
Mighty Mouse, Fedor. Definitely. We're getting into that realm, aren't we? And it's like, that's exciting to feel that. But
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. You've given the mature answer. I'm here for the Makhachev 170 campaign as well.
But the Topuria Makhachev fight.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger than the Maddalena fight alone, unless I think about the further ramifications. I respect Makhachev in that, like, if he beats Topuria, like, yeah, he's one of the greatest at lightweight, possibly the greatest. He's going to pass.
He is the greatest.
Khabib.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. If he beats Topuria, yeah, confirmed. Right. There shouldn't be much question now, but there's no question after that. But he's not entering the real kind of pantheon. It's bigger for him to move up. It's just I've been swept up in the Topuria narrative, and it's the actual fight. Just because JDM isn't this tested champ who's like so. But that's the thing.
But I think that JDM fight in a way is a great one, and just of like that's a big weight step up. JDM is, the bigger man is like, if he struggles with JDM, how's he going to do with Brady? Like, if he struggles with JDM, how would he do with Shavkat? Like, then you're starting to get into that realm.
I said prior to this fight, like, I'm picking Islam all day if that fight ever materializes. But I saw enough in this fight to think like it's not as straightforward as that. Like, going up 15 pounds to fight JDM, he's so mobile up there. It's
striking. The striking is better.
Yeah.
JDM is a better striker than anyone Makhachev has faced. So he's going to have to overcome that, and the size thing, and the fact that JDM is actually a pretty good grappler in the sense of like he will do funky stuff, and he'll string things together that are interesting. And I think Craig Jones as well, being a part of that team now, is like that's a really good wrinkle and coach to add to that. So yeah, I'm excited to see what that's going to be. It's slightly disappointing that it's Topuria Oliveira, which on paper sounds exciting, but can I just give you my very early prediction is that I think Topuria is going to absolutely decimate Oliveira. Like, wow. I think it is going to be a carpet bombing of Oliveira. I think he's going to run through him. And it's going to be slightly disappointing because it's like, I wish it was the Oliveira of 2 years ago. You know what I mean? It's going to be like that.
I think at any stage, this Topuria versus Charles at any stage, that would probably be the pick I'd end up with. I'd be picking Topuria.
Oh, really?
You just think about the style of Oliveira and where he's found success, and he's so like almost like gung ho and reckless, and
he creates the chaos and then he stays calm within it. Like right. That's the thing. That's the genius of him.
But isn't that Topuria's like MO? Isn't that his like that is his
that
world?
He never loses his head.
Yeah, and he also like you just think about him against the Black Country Banger. You think about
my boy.
Odd reference to put in there, but the shot he took there to emerge, and he was so like calm about the way that he actually dealt with that. He lands a takedown and then obviously goes on to finish him in brutal fashion. It's I would be looking at Topuria.